I really wanted to film this because it's a great example of rural transit in the Netherlands. A bus stop with a bicycle rack so that people can cycle to the bus stop. And this bus stop has buses that come every 12 minutes. And get this, for a village of 265 people.
Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos a mais um vídeo desse canal. Nós somos cidadãos de terceiro mundo e nesse canal nós reagimos e aprendemos sobre o primeiro mundo. Nesse vídeo nós vamos reagir até as cidades pequenas são ótimas aqui, 5 anos na Holanda.
Portanto, aproveite a oportunidade, considere se inscrever no nosso canal, clique no gostei, compartilhe esse vídeo e faça mais sugestões nos comentários. E agora, vamos para a reação.
We've lived in the Netherlands for 5 years now, and during that time we've been to many different cities and towns. Now, obviously I talk about Amsterdam a lot on this channel because that's the city I live in, but I routinely show clips from other places that I've been to in the country. A lot of the time, I didn't go to these places specifically to film them, they were just some of the places I had to go because I was going to an appointment or visiting friends or just living my life. And while I grabbed a few video clips here and there, I never collected enough footage to make a complete video about any of these places, especially in the early days. But a lot of these places are really interesting, and I think you'll find them interesting too, because one of the things that really, honestly, just blew me away after moving to the Netherlands is just how good things are pretty much everywhere.
Uau!
When we got to the Netherlands, we tried to get out of the city as much as possible to get to know our new country. Before I had a YouTube channel, I used to take photos or videos of things I found interesting, and it's really funny to look back on a lot of what I thought was worth filming. Most of these videos are too short as they were never meant to be posted to YouTube, so you'll have to excuse me if I have to loop some of them. So anyway, let's begin. We have visited the city of Haarlem several times, both before moving to the Netherlands and after, as it's an easy trip from Amsterdam by train. Visiting Haarlem for the first time was a really eye-opening experience for me, as it was the first time I realized that even a city of about 160,000 people could be really active and lively, and I talked about that in the very first video on this channel. My hometown has over 3 times the population, and you'd need a 50-car pileup to see this many people outside of their cars at one time. This is entirely because of the design of Haarlem and its pedestrianized city center. I took our kids to Leiden to visit the Natural History Museum, again, trivially easy to access by train and a short walk. This is literally the only video I took of Leiden, this crosswalk. This amazed me because it was such a safe crossing, where the street was narrowed with this big pedestrian island. Oh, okay. I was clearly easily impressed in those early days, but seriously, this would not exist in any city this size in Canada, and that's really sad, right? I did a similar thing in the town of Harlingen, where the only video I took was this one. Again, of a safe crosswalk. In this case, the crossing is raised to slow down drivers. If you live in Canada, you have to get all your neighbors together and fight for years to get something like this installed, but in the Netherlands, they're just all over the place and usually installed by default.
Meu Deus.
For a while, we were attending.
Eu acho duas coisas chamam a minha atenção nesse vídeo. Primeiro, é que as pessoas há um respeito muito grande na sinalização do trânsito. Os carros não avançam, não correm em alta velocidade, e eles respeitam muito as pessoas atravessando na faixa de pedestres. Isso é algo que a gente não tem em nosso país. Em nosso país, se há algum problema no semáforo ou não, o motorista realmente não respeita o pedestre. E outra coisa que chama a minha atenção é a conexão que tem por trem, porque a impressão que eu tenho é que você pode passear pelo país de trem. Em nosso país a gente infelizmente não tem essa opção, né? E é muito interessante que a gente tivesse mais uma opção de transporte. E lá na Holanda eles conectam tudo com trem, eu acho isso incrível, porque é mais uma opção que as pessoas têm para viajar.
Verdade, o que eu gosto muito num país de primeiro mundo como a Holanda é a forma como eles tratam de arrumar uma solução, mas é de forma eficiente. Então, eles querem que as pessoas usem transporte público, então o transporte público é de qualidade. Se eles querem que as pessoas possam passear, então as pessoas vão ser respeitadas. E isso realmente mostra o nível de educação que eles têm. E isso realmente é uma coisa impressionante.
Some speed cubing competitions. This meant that we had to travel to some very random places in the Netherlands. This is Lent, which is basically a suburb of Nijmegen. We hadn't been in the Netherlands for long at this point, so everything was new to us. I remember it being so amazing that we could so easily take a train to the other side of the country, and when we got there, it was safe for our whole family, including our kids, to cycle by themselves to the neighboring town. There was also this separated bicycle path that I remember thinking was really high quality, especially in such a small city. This bridge was really cool too, and it was interesting how they cut through this old tower to build this bicycle path. I remember thinking that only the Netherlands would care enough about bicycle infrastructure to do this. The other fascinating thing about Lent was that it felt very suburban with lots of single-family homes, but it was still perfectly safe to cycle through, and there were so many families out on bicycles. These kind of suburban streets cut off to through traffic by cars are ideal routes for cycling without having to build any dedicated cycling infrastructure at all. There are no bike lanes needed here because the speed and volume of cars was so low. Suburban streets lined with single-family homes but still safe for cycling just absolutely blew our minds. Another speed cubing competition was in Ermelo. Again, our destination in this small town was easily accessible by train plus bicycle. What amazed me was that a town this small, 27,000 people, would have so many trains going to it, and with a ridiculous amount of bicycles parked out front. The other thing that surprised me was the traffic calming. That's the infrastructure that's used to slow and restrict car traffic. So many streets were cut off to car traffic, and again, it was easy to cycle everywhere without any dedicated cycling infrastructure. I talked about this in one of my very early videos about traffic calming on this channel. This one little town had more traffic calming measures than I've seen in literally any city of any size in Canada. And when it comes to small towns in Canada, they're all extremely car-centric. They are legitimately terrible places to be, despite them being small enough to easily cycle from one end to the other. So being in a small town that wasn't lined with strip malls and overrun by cars was just incredible. It really became clear to me that to make a place friendly for cycling, it was more important to restrict cars than it was to build a bunch of expensive bicycle infrastructure. After all, protected bike lanes are really just an extension of car infrastructure, right? You don't need bike paths if you don't have a lot of cars.
Eu não posso deixar de comentar o quanto é muito, muito diferente olhar também essas imagens e, tipo, ver que não tem muro nas casas. Isso sempre me chama muita atenção, porque aqui, como eu já falei, a gente tem muitas grades nas janelas. Apartamento foge um pouco disso, mas tudo que possa ser baixo e alguém possa conseguir acessar, sempre tem grade. E as casas, principalmente quem constrói, sempre opta por colocar muito muro muito alto e coisas que impeçam uma pessoa de querer entrar, como cerca elétrica. Então é muito diferente. Realmente, assim, é outro mundo ver isso. E é muito louco e chocante ao mesmo tempo essa questão do trânsito e ver como eles respeitam também os ciclistas, os pedestres. É uma coisa muito, muito admirável.
We also attended a speed cubing competition in Veenendaal. This town deserves its own video someday, as it's often considered to be the best city for cycling in the Netherlands. The exit to the train station is right at this nice cycling path, and it connects directly to this pedestrianized shopping center. Totally accessible by foot or by bicycle, without ever interacting with any cars at all. And this isn't even the main train station. This is the suburban station in a place with only 65,000 people. Like, I would absolutely never see this in Canada anywhere, never mind the suburbs of a small city. We took a vacation to Terschelling, an island in the North Sea. I was amazed that we could take a train directly to the ferry, and when we got to the island, we could rent e-bikes and cycle everywhere. We were even staying on a farm, like an actual rural farm, and it was still easily accessible by separated paths that were only used by bicycles and tractors. This country never ceases to amaze me.
Olha que maravilha.
We went on vacation to a small camping area outside of Ulm. Again, small town, 18,000 people. Obviously, a lot of people drive here, but there are still alternatives for walking and cycling. I drove around to take a look at the town and saw traffic calming everywhere. Look at the traffic calming on this main residential street. There is no way this would exist in a town this small in North America. This street would be wide and straight, high speed, and have lots of cars. People would have signs on their lawns telling drivers to slow down, and nobody would let their kids out in the street. It's just a totally different way to design a residential area. I was also surprised at how good the new road infrastructure was. You can see a very clear separation between streets and roads. There are no stroads here.
Uau! É impressionante o investimento que é realizado na estrutura do país. Você pode ver que há uma organização muito grande, porque as estradas são lisas. Não há buraco nenhum nas estradas e é muito bem elaborado, porque você tem uma parte dedicada às pessoas que andam de bicicleta, uma parte dedicada aos carros. Porém, existe uma certa prioridade em dar espaço para as pessoas poderem transitar e caminhar também. Talvez por isso que no vídeo é mencionado que não há ruas muito largas.
É verdade, e isso é surpreendente. A inteligência do povo holandês me surpreende muito, porque eles são muito organizados. E tudo é feito de maneira estratégica, então é fora desse mundo, é incrível.
For example, the businesses in this industrial area were accessible by streets separated from the main road, and accessible by roundabout. I talked about this in more detail in my video about stroads. Of course, there was a train station with a huge amount of bicycles outside of it. Again, this would just never exist in North America in a town this size. We also stayed at a campground near Diepenheim, and I had to drive there to buy groceries. I think this place surprised me the most because less than 3,000 people live here. And yet there were lovely houses on small streets, a traffic calming of course, and people of all ages cycling everywhere. What was even crazier was the time we ended up in Utrecht. There was nice traffic calming everywhere, we saw lots of people cycling, but I really wanted to film this because it's a great example of rural transit in the Netherlands. A bus stop with a bicycle rack so that people can cycle to the bus stop. And this bus stop has buses that come every 12 minutes. And get this, for a village of 265 people. I know of cities 1,000 times that size in Canada that have less frequent bus service. We took our kids to the Bonami Computer Museum in Zwolle. This is on the edge of the city, about 4 kilometers from the train station, but it was still trivially easy and safe to get to by bicycle. The population of Zwolle is about 120,000 people. It was amazing to us how even these places in a random business park at the edge of a small town were still accessible to us with a train plus bicycle combination. I had never seen anything like this before. Also, the computer museum is amazing. You should go if you're nearby. We stayed for a few days at a campground near Assen, so I took a drive into town to check it out. Of course, I was able to easily pick up an Ofe Fiets rental bicycle from the bicycle parking garage at the train station. I wanted to come here because David Hembro, a British blogger who runs the blog A View from the Cycle Path, lives in Assen and talks about it a lot. It was again an absolutely lovely small city, and it was really pleasant to walk around. And there were lots of nice residential neighborhoods all over. Of course, the cycling infrastructure was absolutely top-notch, despite it being a city of less than 70,000 people. One of the suburbs of Assen, called Kloosterveen, looked cool on the map, so I decided to cycle out there. Of course, it was always perfectly safe and comfortable, and there were many other people out cycling as well.
Você observou que do alto também tem uma organização absurda. Tipo, a forma como as ruas foram feitas e as casas construídas é tudo muito, muito organizado. E acredito que isso resulte também nessa beleza que a gente vê na cidade. A arquitetura, a forma como tudo tá em harmonia.
É incrível. E outra coisa que chama a minha atenção é óbvio que cidades de interior nunca vão ser iguais às grandes metrópoles. As grandes metrópoles geralmente são mais agitadas. Mas essa atmosfera dessas cidades menores é encantador, porque tudo é muito tranquilo.
Sim, é muito charmoso.
For all kinds of trips. I just couldn't believe how good a small city could be. Kloosterveen itself was also really nice despite it being a modern development. There was a mix of housing types, including single-family homes, and they were all connected by car-free walking and cycling paths. The crazy-looking circle thing was a pedestrianized center with underground parking and apartments, and all the shops you'd need on a regular basis. This proved to me once again that modern suburban neighborhoods don't have to be car-centric and crappy. I do think that Assen should have a tram line, though. Its public transportation is decent, but it's only buses. While we were driving back to Amsterdam, we wanted to stop at a grocery store, so we went to this random neighborhood called Fathorst outside of Amersfoort. Again, totally blown away. Look at this place. This is as suburban as it gets, right off the highway. But there was a traffic calming, a nice little shopping area that's within walking distance of houses. I meant to come back to film this, but I never did. But it really shows that good urbanism is everywhere in the Netherlands, even in new developments. It's not just reserved for a handful of old neighborhoods in the biggest cities, like it is in Canada. We decided to spend a few days in the town of Woerden because it looked nice. I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but again, it was absolutely wonderful. There were pedestrianized streets all over the city center and lots of people out. There were modern developments that were extremely pleasant, and no giant stroads, no sprawling parking lots, and the train station was really nice too. It had a big outdoor parking lot for bicycles, as well as one indoors, and more on the other side too. And of course, regular train service, despite it being a town of about 50,000 people. Like, coming from Canada, this was crazy.
Meu Deus, mas acho muito engraçado porque ele fala muito do Canadá, então acho que ele morava lá. E tipo, o Canadá é um país de primeiro mundo. Então, se ele se surpreende com essas coisas, imagina como que a gente não está nesse exato momento. Porque essas coisas de ter um desenvolvimento urbano em cidades pequenas, a gente comenta entre a gente mesmo, que às vezes a gente tem vontade de morar em um lugar menor, porém o desenvolvimento ele está muito mais voltado para as grandes cidades, cidades turísticas. E você vê que na Holanda não é assim. Tipo, todos são respeitados. Pessoas de cidades grandes, pessoas de cidades pequenas, todos têm direito de ir e vir, de usufruir de um bom transporte, de uma boa qualidade de vida. Meu Deus!
A gente percebe que o país todo é muito bem estruturado. Há uma estrutura em todo o país, sejam lugares grandes ou pequenos, todos vão ter o mesmo tratamento. Isso é impressionante.
A family friend came to visit us in the Netherlands. She had Dutch heritage, and we went to see some of her extended family. This brought us to Snake, an absolutely lovely old town of about 35,000 people. They lived in this pretty typical Dutch suburban neighborhood, and it was really nice. The row houses were well kept, the streets were safe and narrow, and there were lots of things within easy walking and cycling distance. Of course, there was this nice little train station with a ridiculous number of bicycles parked out front. The city center of Snake is pedestrianized, and it's a genuinely wonderful place to be. We went out on a boat and sailed through the canals. I just couldn't believe that a small town could be this nice. As a point of reference, this is what downtown looks like in a similarly sized city in Canada, and I always assumed that this is what all small towns were like. I could never have imagined that a small town could have a pedestrianized city center before coming to the Netherlands. And yet, they're everywhere here. We also visited her extended family in Alkmaar, a city with a population of about 100,000 people, and I was absolutely amazed. This was a neighborhood of single-family homes in a relatively small city, and yet it didn't have massively wide streets with high-speed cars. It was quiet and boring, just like a suburb is supposed to be, but it was also perfectly safe to walk and cycle. And it was directly connected to a local park with a network of separated bicycle paths that could take you anywhere else within the city. We saw so many kids out playing together and without any parents around. This is just a better way to design a suburb. I was doing a contract in the town of Zeist, so I had to travel there every week. I'm going to make a full video about this because it was the nicest modern train station I think I've ever seen. Like, this is ridiculous, right? A town of 65,000 people in Canada wouldn't even have a train station anymore, never mind one that looked like this. This is just a small sample of the places we went to in our first few years in the Netherlands. There are many other places that we've been to, and I've talked about many of them on this channel already. I have another YouTube channel where I live stream my bicycle rides, and these live streams show a totally unfiltered view of what it's like to cycle in the Netherlands. I started doing these rides because I wanted people to see what it's really like here in between the places I choose to film. And it's nice pretty much everywhere. And that's really what I want to make clear to people. Because what really struck me about going to all these random places, from industrial parks to suburban neighborhoods to small towns, was that none of them were bad.
É incrível. É incrível a gente ver a tranquilidade que as pessoas transitam pelas ruas. Você morou numa cidade de interior, numa cidade pequena, e lá, ainda assim, uma cidade pequena não tem o mesmo movimento de carros como uma cidade muito grande, mas ainda assim lá tinha acidentes.
Sim, é verdade. Não se compara com o que eu vejo aqui no vídeo. Não tem nada parecido com o que acontece nessas cidades holandesas. São vários fatores. Realmente é uma coisa impressionante.
Sure, some places were better than others, and there are certainly lots of places that could benefit from better public transit. But I have yet to see any place in any city, town, or village in the Netherlands where I felt uncomfortable or unsafe to be outside of a car. And yet, when I think back to my time in Canada, I would go to places that I would call bad on a regular basis. And anytime I had to leave my neighborhood without driving, I just expected to feel unsafe several times. And literally any time I had to go to a location in a suburb or a small town, I absolutely had to drive. And I was surrounded by garbage like this most of the time. What's funny is that after a few years of living in the Netherlands, my idea of bad has shifted. For example, I absolutely hate Zijlstraat in Amsterdam, and I avoid it whenever possible. But in Canada, this would be considered one of the good places. This is what motivates me to keep making videos on this channel. I want people to understand that I'm not just seeking out the best parts of the Netherlands to highlight while ignoring the bad parts. There are no bad parts. Or if there are, they're so few and far between that I haven't seen them. A great example is my video about this business park by the airport. I just could not believe that a business park by the airport could be easily transit accessible, safe for walking and cycling, and even nice looking. Or this random business park in Amsterdam with a beautiful two-way bicycle path running right through the middle of it. I spent huge parts of my life going to business parks in multiple US and Canadian cities, and they all sucked. All of them, without exception. I always assumed that's just what they were like, and yet, apparently they don't have to be. And the same goes for small towns. I hated small towns in Canada. They always looked like garbage with giant parking lots and a high-speed strode running right through the center of town. And yet here, the small towns were lovely, and they were usually easily accessible by public transit. And they almost always had some kind of pedestrianized area. 5 years of living in the Netherlands has changed me forever. I can absolutely never go back to the life I had before. And the other great thing about living here for 5 years is that I'm allowed to apply for a Dutch passport, which is great because after traveling the world, I finally found the place I want to live, and I have absolutely no intention of ever going back.
Uau! simplesmente a gente não tem palavras, porque o vídeo, ele é autoexplicativo, né? Porque é impressionante ver como o interior é tão desenvolvido quanto as cidades grandes, as pessoas andam muito tranquilas, há um respeito incrível, uma educação surpreendente, é um paraíso.
Verdade, é um paraíso. É impressionante como tudo é bem desenvolvido. Essas pessoas estão vivendo num país muito avançado. A gente vê aqui que o nosso país por exemplo, metrô, trem, é em poucos lugares que tem. E aqui a gente vê praticamente quase todos os lugares tinham. Então, assim, é realmente muito louco. E não só isso, mas a forma como as pessoas se sentem seguras para aproveitar o lindo lugar que elas vivem e como elas são respeitadas quando estão andando pelas ruas. Tudo é motivo de se admirar e eu não tenho palavras.
A única coisa que nos resta é ver, aprender e reproduzir, né? Que é um grande exemplo isso. Mas de qualquer forma, essa foi a reação desse vídeo. Portanto, aproveite a oportunidade, considere se inscrever no nosso canal, clique no gostei, compartilhe esse vídeo e faça mais sugestões nos comentários.
Muito obrigada por assistir esse vídeo e nos vemos na próxima reação.
Tchau!